The True North, the racing podcast, is presented by Vision 20 Studios. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
Welcome back to the new episode of the True North Racing Podcast presented by Vision 20 Studios. I'm your host, John Morrison. Joining me as always as our amazing co-host, Megan Mitchell. Megan, how was your weekend?
Not too bad. How about you?
It was all right. I ended up having a surprise weekend with the boys. We got them fitted for their suits today.
Oh
yeah, they fought. They looked, I'm going to send you pictures after, but they looked absolutely cute. We can't believe we're four weeks and 6 days away from that. You excited? You excited to come out and have some fun?
I am excited.
Good.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I had a little more time to try to lose some weight before I get my dress totally done.
Yeah.
But no, that's going in next week. And there's been no progress. I'm not getting.
I feel that. And you know what? We may be 4 weeks, 6 days away from a wedding, but we are 5 days. Actually, by the time you guys hear this, we'll be 3 days away from the opening of Motorama 2024 at the Toronto International Center. And of course, we are going to talk to you guys about that right now because we got some fun things on the go that weekend, don't we, Megan?
We do.
So this year at the True North Racing Podcast at Motorama 2024, we will be back doing live shows again. We already got some guests lined up. I'm still trying to figure out Saturday's schedule right now. I already got my Friday schedule planned out. I may have Sunday figured out, but I'm not 100% certain yet. But Saturday is my only open day right now. So who knows? You and I may be just going up there and just talk racing, talk about you for 50 minutes and talk about us for 50 minutes. I don't know yet.
All right.
No, I'm excited. We got some fun little things that are going to be going on as well this year at Motorama. I like I said, I told you, Megan, I don't care anymore. This year, there's actually a podcaster's booth happening at Motorama this year. Cam K, myself, Brandon Feeney, the guys from Wild World of Motorsports. We are all, Megan, on the Saturday, we're all going to be in a freaking booth just inside Hall 1B at Motorama this year, the Toronto International Center. And where it's a spot where we can promote our shows, talk to these guys, talk to these guys and gals about what our podcast about, why. And it's going to feel a little weird, I think, seeing we're going to have 4 groups of people in this one booth. But at the same time, I think it's going to be great. One, Cam K, Feeney, Michael Wallace, and James Jordan from the Wild World of Motorsports, they're going to be in tow as well. We are all good. We've already all talked together. We've been kind of working together. And I think this is going to be so cool to have at the show where we actually see where you the fans are actually going to be able to see how well the podcast really work together and how we really want to give back to the sport and promote the sport in a way that is different compared to a lot of other avenues as well. And this year this is the first time it's ever happening. We got to give a big shout out to Cam K for putting in the legwork on this, because he's the one who's been contacting Motorama to get this done. He has put in the work on this, guys. So if you see Cam K at Motorama this year, please stop by, give him a big thank you. Like, it is so cool. So right now, just getting up to to something here. I'm actually gonna put up a picture. So you guys are gonna find us because of this little thing up. We're gonna a little sign made up for our table, and it looks so cool.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is.
got the podcast logo on it. And so it's gonna be up on the table. You guys are gonna be able to stop by, come chat with us. I'm gonna be there all weekend with the laptop. I'm gonna be doing write-ups for the most part. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a live show or record it or record in the booth. I'm not sure yet. Kind of have to see how that's set up, but I'm going to go down Thursday because we do have an unveiling happening.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike Thompson and his number 16. We get to see what it finally looks like. So I'll be heading down to Motorama just after work. I'm hoping he'll still be there so we can shoot content with this new bad boy. Use that for it. I'm so excited to use it. I'm like a little kid in the candy store. If you guys are listening to this and not watching us on YouTube, we have been sponsored a gimbal for our vlogs and stuff like that to give us a little bit more of a professional look when we're talking to people. And actually, I got microphones as well, so I got to get those hooked up. So we got a lot going on. I got to get wrapped up this year. But so it's called the Boneyard Media Room, and it's going to be in the Gulf Race Fuels Racing Zone, and it's sponsored by Boneyard Event Services. I'm excited we got to give a big thank you to them for sponsoring the booth and giving us a space as podcasters to be able to talk to these drivers and fans and crews and whoever wants to come chat with us. Like, that's going to be the fun part. If you guys want to write, I'll be more than happy to do a write-up right then and there and sit down and talk with you for a little bit, and we'll put a write-up on the website. Like, this is a chance for the media members here, to really engage with our fans in a space where it's neutral. We're not running around the show. It gives you guys a chance to, it gives us a chance to be able to find a spot and sit down, even if we want to for a few minutes. Even after the podcast, like, we was like, hey, if you guys want to come see us over here. Right. And it gives them a chance to be able to be like, oh, shoot, let's go see them. Let's see what they're about. And Brandon Feeney has been so nice to make some QR codes. So if you guys want to link to the website, you guys are going to be able to walk up to the table and essentially use your phone and jump over to joemedia.ca, and you guys can find out how you guys can listen to the True North Racing podcast, the Feeney Call, check out our drivers list. There's so much you guys are going to be able to check out from our QR codes. And again, it gives you guys a chance to come over and chat with us about racing. Like, that's the fun part. We get to talk about racing for 3 days. Like, I'm excited. As Megan knows, like, that I love racing. As you guys are, I'm sure you guys are aware, I love racing in general. And it's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to be honest, you know what the one thing I'm kind of concerned about, though?
What's that?
Is that 4 years ago, there was a guest there at the show when COVID shut it down. We had Constance Nunes at the show 4 years ago, and she's coming back this year.
No.
And yeah. And it's like, oh my God, is this 2020 all over again?
I hope not. No, thank you.
No, because we haven't been talking about a virus yet, so we're good.
Nope.
But no, like, we're excited to be a part of that. We are excited to be a part of that with Cam K, Brandon Feeney, the Wild World of Motorsports. We are thankful to Motorama for giving us a space to be able to do some of our work. So we're not just in my opinion, sometimes I feel like we're interrupting the show.
Yeah.
If we're going up and talking to a driver, we're standing there with our phones or GoPros or whatever. Sometimes I feel like we're interrupting the show a little bit. trying to capture some content for it. But at the same time, now it's going to give us a space where we can invite drivers over, or, crew chiefs or owners of companies, and sit down and chat with them for a little bit and find out more about them. And and we're not interrupting the show, because yeah, they may leave their booth, but if they're usually at a bigger booth, they'll have 3, 4, 5 guys on hand. It gives them a chance to be able to walk around and check out the show as well.
Exactly.
We got a few drivers, Joe Media drivers, who are going to be a part of that show, which is awesome. And you guys are going to be able to check them out this weekend. I know not only is Mike Thompson doing an unveiling, the 55 of Ollie Ferguson is also doing an unveiling in the Racers crowd. He'll be with the OSS guys, and he's got a body from 22 Racing now instead of the super stock looking style that he had last year. And he's got a fresh new look for this year. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping that they've already unveiled it at the show so I can sneak a peek while I'm there. But yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun, and it's a great weekend. So if you guys can make it out, please come stop by, say hi to us. We'll be located just inside Hall 1B, right across from the stage as well. So that's where you guys can also catch us do our live shows throughout the weekend. There should be a schedule, I think, coming out here soon of who's going to be up when. But yeah, I'm excited. So get your ticket. Go over to motoramashow.com. Get your tickets today, and we'll see you at the show. But I think now not now, Jesus. We are we're gonna get you into our guest of the week this week. Oh my God, I just messed that up. Our GraphInk Design Studio guest of the week is Jennifer Hatch. So what do you say we get her into the show tonight?
Absolutely.
Joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast, we are sitting down with the driver of the number 17 Bone Stock. We got Jennifer Hatch joining us. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for joining us this week. It's going to be a lot. You asked about coming on. It was kind of funny because the what I had posted and what you were asking to come on was a little different, but that's okay. We're excited to have you on. And I was actually talking to my fiance earlier today, and she was telling me that it actually dawned on me that it has just been about a year since the last time you were on this show. Yeah. So this is perfect timing. It's awesome.
Well, that's what triggered me at saying, hey, like, because it had come up in a memory, and I was like, hey, I haven't been on in like a year. What's going on here, guys?
Well, of course, we're excited to have you back because you are, first of all, you have one of the best car nicknames ever. You got Big Booty Judy sitting there behind you. We got questions about that car in our fan question period. So you guys are going to hear that later on during the show. But of course, we got to know how's your off season going?
Off season has been good. It's been busy. Zach's building a legend car here in the shop right now as well. So Zach was playing hockey this year, so we had some hockey to follow, and I did some traveling this year. I went down to Frank Wall's place in Costa Rica with some girlfriends, and then as you know, just was traveling. Went to Daytona, went to Speed Week for the week, and did some traveling around there. Met some awesome people. Yeah, so no, it's been a good off season. It's been, it's been an off season. I hate off seasons to start with, and then had some shake up in my life for the off season, obviously. And so just getting ready to roll. I'm really looking forward to the spring. I'm looking forward to race season, and I think it's going to be a great year. Definitely. On that note, I need.
Why don't you tell us more about your Daytona trip? Like, what did you enjoy about it? What did you do?
So Daytona trip was like awesome. What happened was I wasn't planning on going to Speed Week. Ended up having emergency surgery. And so had the surgery 3-4 days later. I was feeling really, really good. And I was slated to be off work for 2 weeks because no lifting for 6 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, Like I could sit here for 2 weeks, or I could go to Florida and get some racing in it. That's not too strenuous, obviously. So so I called up some friends down there and said, do you have a couch for me to sleep on? And they said, hell yes. And I said, awesome. I said, do you mind picking me up at the airport? They said, no, we will. And the rest was history. So we hit Volusia Speedway, New Smyrna. We did the truck race, we did the ARCA race, and then the rain hit. So we did golfing, and we did indoor go-karting, and we did eating a lot of steak, and we did a lot of shopping, and just, kind of did the weekend with the rain. And then Monday was the Daytona, obviously, which is what I had really gone down for. And my son was playing his last hockey game here back in Ontario. So I made the last minute decision on the Sunday night to book a seat, and I flew out at 5 a.m. Landed, my Uncle Russ picked me up. I came home, grabbed my car, drove to Palmerston, and watched my son's last hockey game. And they won, so it was good. It was a good game.
Yes.
So, yeah. So that was a bit bittersweet because he's going to be 22 here on that next Saturday. So he'll be 22 next Saturday. So he started when he was 3, so it was a long hockey career, and it was really cool. It was really cool. But you always got to be mom first, regardless of what else is happening. So I jumped on the plane and missed the Daytona 500.
Aw.
There will always be other Daytona 500s.
That's exactly what my thought process was.
And it actually was kind of funny that you mentioned about Zach and his hockey career, because I saw that he was playing in a league that actually plays against one of my hometown teams that just started this year, the Aaron Outlaws. And
Right.
I joked earlier this year with my fiance that I was like, hey, I'm like, it'd be fun if we headed up to one of those games when they played in Aaron. And just unfortunately it never happened, because I thought it would have been cool to go up and go watch Zach play hockey, and even just cheering up. Like, I love hockey in Aaron to begin with, but it would have been cool to go see. It would have been fun to go watch your son play hockey, because I see, you post pictures all the time, and it always looks like a good time, looks like a good team. So I was like, let's go check it out. And just,
it was such a fun year to watch. We were, he played a lot of junior A out in Alberta and in the CCHL, etc. So, and then obviously the Stratford Warriors and winning the Cherry Cup, going Game 7 of the Sutherland Cup, etc. So I was kind of concerned on how good a hockey was going to be, but we had a blast this year. Like, the parents were amazing. We had a lot of post-game
shenanigans.
Fun, the Legion, in the bar area that's beside the arena.
Yeah.
What's it called? Blue Line Club. And anyways, so we just had a ton of fun. Now he can still play on that team next year. He could.
Yeah.
And but I think he says that he's done, but I didn't really expect him to play this year, and he got talked into it. So I'm kind of hoping that somebody talks him into it again next year. I'm not ready to not be a hockey mom or a ringette mom. I was at ringette all weekend, so.
I guess we'll have to see come next August there, when they start coming up with the teams.
Yeah, exactly, when they start putting their teams together. So yeah, anyway, so back to Daytona. Yeah, so a lot of fun. Honestly though, the best racing in my opinion was the Tuesday night at New Smyrna. I got my my good Canadian swag while I was down there.
Yeah.
And met a lot of people. And then when we were out a couple nights later, we were out for like dinner at a really nice steakhouse, and I was just really nice steakhouse, and I wore my raisins hoodie. But anyways, and it worked because I ended up like, there was so many people in there from the racing community because it was a rainy night, and we ended up just like this great big huddle of racers in this really nice steakhouse, and it was Cyrus. Oh, can't remember. I added him. He added me on Facebook. But anyways, ended up, talking to this young kid that's an up and coming racer down there and stuff. So yeah, so it was fun. It was just a great week. That was my week.
That's awesome. And what did you enjoy about the super late model race on the Tuesday?
Well, it was awesome. Like, so we had saved a whole bunch of seats for like a whole bunch of us from up north of the border. and these poor 4 guys end up get stuck in between us. And so as you know, they're announcing all the Canadians and stuff, and you know, we're hooting and hollering. He's like, you guys are passionate, and we're like, yeah, we are. And anyways, end up like Facebook friends with those guys too, and you know, still chatting to them and stuff, and you know, amazing folks from the Connecticut area. So just fun.
I'm gonna be honest, that is one of the coolest things about racing, especially when it's supposed to be snow covered up here, but it's been very gloomy this winter up here in Canada.
Yeah.
But to be able to go to a place such like Florida during speed weeks, and you know, you met people who realistically are closer to you when you're home than when you're in Florida. And
Yes.
to be able to get to meet them, become friends with them, and still chatting with them.
Yeah.
This is one of the beautiful things I love about the racing community right there. Is you can,
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you are, you can become friends with anyone.
You all have something that you're very passionate about in common already. So it's really easy to strike up a conversation with somebody when you're passionate about the same things. And, you know, though for in a situation like this, like it turned out to be like this 3-time champion at Stafford Speedway. And so we ended up talking about racing and stuff and just hit it off. And we had a ton of fun, and you know, all of his crew and stuff was there. It was just fun. It was just fun and great memories that you'll hold on to forever.
That is a trip I am looking to make hopefully in the next year or two. I just want to go down to speed weeks and just go enjoy some good solid short track racing, and then cap it off with a 500. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It always looks so much fun, and I hate when they changed it over a few years ago to like the NBC pass, where it was essentially restrictive to Canada unless you bought a VPN, stuff like that, where we couldn't watch speed weeks, and that was the most fun racing. You had 9 nights, was it like it's like 7 or 9 nights of racing, and it really fills up everything.
If you add in the dirt tracks, they started even earlier. Like I think it was
exactly.
Almost 2. Yeah.
Like the amount of racing we can go down and go watch in Florida, we almost get a half a year's worth if we go down for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like if you were down there for a week or 2 weeks, you get about a half a year's worth of racing seen in that time frame, and it's just nuts. And that's one of the reasons why I want to go so bad. It just looks so much fun.
Definitely worth.
Oh yeah. Now with that being said, of course, we're getting closer and closer to our season. We're getting so close to the next season here in Canada. Like it's hard to imagine that in just over a month and a half, we're going to hear race cars fire up, start hitting racetracks to practice, to test and tune, to prepare for the average is about May 4th opening weekend. Jen, how are you feeling going into this year, and how excited are you to go back racing this year?
Oh, like I said, it was a rough winter for me, and so I'm just looking forward to getting back to the track and back to my racing family. That's I do see a lot of the off season too, but obviously, at the same time, yeah, I am excited to get back.
Now that leads me into this next question here, because we've been trying to work out a time frame to do a nice write-up about you for celebrating 30 years behind the wheel, because first of all, that is incredible. You know, we talked about this a while ago. That is absolutely incredible time frame to be driving in general. 30 years, you get maybe 10, 15 years out of an average weekly racer here in Canada, I find, until like life happens and things go on. But to continue racing for 30 years and looking forward to getting back this year, how excited are you? Like, does the excitement still build each year to get back to the track?
Oh, absolutely. I kind of took a peek at all the questions that we have coming up, and they cover a lot of it, but very true, right? Like once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. And when you have a racing family, you have a racing family. And I'll cover some of that in the questions. But having said that, yeah, like there's just nothing like that first, loading the car and heading off to the track the first weekend of the year, and hoping that it all goes good.
That's always the worst part is when you show up to the track on that first practice day and like a brake
Practice
line
day.
goes
Who goes to
wrong.
practice day? Who goes to practice day? I never make it to practice day.
We talk about practice. Like every time I just think of practice, I think of the famous Allen Iverson interview that he did back in like 2004. It's like practice. We talk about practice.
Yeah, I should talk about practice. Maybe I'll make it
there. but like obviously like you prepare all year. Realistic, what is your biggest concern like for going back onto the track after an off season like we do here in Canada?
I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. I don't really get all worked up about anything. It is what it is. I'm not, at my age, which I'm going to be 52 in 2 weeks or something. So I don't get worked up about much.
You know what? That is fantastic to hear because that's actually
I look up to that.
that is words to live by right there. But obviously, like, we're gonna cover this later on, but of course, some of these times these questions always get thrown in anyways. Where do you plan on racing this year?
So my plan is I'm just in Big Booty Judy this year. And so I will just be at Delaware on Friday nights. And I will hopefully make it to Stobble a couple of nights is my hope, my goal. Depending on Zach's schedule is my goal.
Now, like you said, he was with Zach Racing. Is he going to run with the Great Lakes Legends?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now,
yeah, he's going to.
Perfect. That's gonna be fun watching. I love that division. So I love the Legends to begin with. They're a fun class to compete in.
Yeah. And I've always helped with the series. This year I'm gonna up my role a bit more and take on a bigger chunk of it and actually help run the series. So you'll see me at Motorama, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes it even better because I'll be there all weekend.
Yeah, I will be there. I have to pay some bills, so I go to work on Friday. So when I get done work, I'll head down after that. We actually,
Perfect.
Yeah, we actually have, we have a pretty, like, I have a big thing we're going to roll out at Motorama, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, there's lots coming. There's always lots coming. Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Speaking of excitement, is there a specific event this year that you're really looking forward to the most?
I think with the legend cars, I love going down to Flat Rock, Michigan. I just like the whole, load up, cross the border, race in a different country, have some fun down there. I usually do the announcing when we're at Flat Rock because they don't know our drivers and our cars and all that. So I get to do some announcing when we're at that track. So that's always fun as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to race direct and announce at the same time, but we'll see. And for Big Booty Judy, you know what? The big weekends at Delaware are always fun. So any race with Big Booty Judy, I'm excited about.
So I didn't know that you announced for them down there. Do you want to tell us more about that? How you got into that kind of position?
Oh, I got thrown into that by Blake Evans. So basically, we think we were at Humberstone. We were racing the dirt race. I think it was Humberstone. We were racing the dirt race, and at Flat Rock. And he was like, they don't really know, our drivers or whatever. Can you go up and help them? So I go up to the booth to help them, and I end up doing just announcing the whole race. And it was fun. I talk a lot, so it was fine. I managed. I know you find that hard to believe, but I managed.
That's actually awesome, though.
Yeah, it was fun.
You surprise me each time we chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like
that's a good thing.
Which is good though, because that's the whole point of these things is to learn more about you and like not just you as a racer, but you as a person.
Yeah.
And the fact that not only you wear multiple different hats on a race weekend And, you know, it's just, to me, it's one of those things that really brings out like you as a person. And when, especially when you're announcing, like I've never done any announcing. I've always wanted to. I think it's fun, but to be able to get up there and because you know the drivers, you know these cars, it makes it more of a natural fit for someone like yourself who knows the people, knows the cars. Um, you know, and that makes it so much better to know that that is something that well, I don't know if you actually enjoy it or not, but
No, I did.
it seems like something you'd like to do. So
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's nerve-wracking
yeah,
because you're trying to watch 1, 2, and 3, and then something happens with 6, 7, and 8, and you don't want to miss that and whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I hope I get another opportunity. I think Adam Ross should have me on as a guest announcer. Don't you think that'd be a great idea?
all right, Adam, the gauntlet has been tossed to you. Can we get Jennifer Hatch on a G-Force broadcast? You know what? You know what else you gotta do? I think you need to get in touch with the Rogers TV's guys, and on a weekend that you're not racing, get up in that booth for a night.
Yeah, that'd be fun
Like,
too.
I don't know if you've done it or not, but I think it would be perfect for you.
Yeah. No, I haven't done it. And I think, yeah, again, I know enough of the drivers and I know enough about Delaware and I know enough about the locals and stuff that I could probably do it. Yeah, pretty handily.
Yeah. I just think that it'd be cool to see you up on camera like that and be able to chat about Delaware, about the drivers. You know, it's, oh my God. I'm just so flabbergasted at that part.
I think
Like,
I was
it's
at
just
track I did it at too, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But anyways, I did do it at definitely at least a couple of tracks. So yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, my uncle just reminded me. He's out here keeping the wood stove pumping for me. Varney, every time we went to Varney, I did all the announcing at Varney as well.
Oh wow.
That's right. We were there 2 or 3 times, so I did it 5, 6 times last year. Yeah.
Wow. Not only does she wear a race helmet, you guys, she also has a microphone that she yells at people with. That's awesome.
Yeah. I do that well.
Now this is where I'm gonna, because you've done it quite a few times by the sounds of it. What do you notice differently about driving compared to standing up in that tower and announcing a race? Do you like Tony Romo, when he stepped away from being a quarterback of the Cowboys and gone to the booth, he was calling plays before they even happened. Do you can you see what's happening out there before the drivers themselves even know what's going on because you're in a different point of view?
Oh, I think that's funny that you bring that analogy up because it's true. Because you already kind of the drivers a little bit, and you know their style, and you know whatever. And I'd be like, okay, so keep an eye on that car because he's gonna do this because I already know that he's gonna do that, right? Or seeing the whole thing. It's actually, I think, more nerve-wracking being in the booth, kind of missing a call or missing part of the action and not telling the people what they need to hear or whatever. But no, totally. You can see so much better from up there, and you can see the whole field, and it's kind of hard sometimes what you want to talk about because there's something going on here or here or here. But yes, it's a lot of fun, and like I said, I hope I get a bit of an opportunity to maybe do some more of it.
Adam Ross, G-Force TV, guys, come on now.
Jeffers.
This could be your new pit reporter. Think about that. Well,
actually, when I was on with Brendan Feeney, the Feeney call.
Yep.
Turn 3. I was gonna reach out to them and I never did because I was too. I know I was gonna say I'm too shy. I'm really not too shy. Too shy is not really in my vocabulary. But anyways, the iRace, the Turn 3 iRacing announcers, they invited me on, so I'm gonna reach out to them and maybe do some of that. So that'd be fun too.
Absolutely, it would be. That's awesome.
That was on the Feeney call, so that was fun.
Now, how did you enjoy your time on the Feeney call? Because I know Brandon's gonna be listening to this. I got it. If you want to talk some crap right now, like feel free. I love Feeney, so
he's fun. You can never knock anybody that has a true love for the sport, that puts in the time to make the sport better, and that's what all of you guys are doing. 30 years ago, 31 years ago now, when I started racing, this was unheard of, just completely unheard of. And, unless you got an article wrote up in the newspaper, type, and it got set on your front doorstep, that's how you got your news back then, right? So, having said that, this is just like that. Look at the opportunities that people are having now. Look at the knowledge we have about each other and each other's, passions and what else we do, like, and yeah, like Brendan, he's got a lot of passion for the sport, and I like him. He's just a good friggin' kid, and I like that.
And again, like you're absolutely right. Like that's the one of the things is that 30, like you said, 30 plus years ago, if you wanted to know about a driver, you better have read that newspaper. Whether
the newspaper or the program or the whatever it was, right?
Exactly. You didn't have the avenues that there are now, where we're getting to a point, there's so many racing podcasts available that doesn't matter what you're into, doesn't matter who you want to listen to, guaranteed there's someone talking to your favorite driver, guaranteed there's someone who's reaching out and trying to better the sport in their region. And you're absolutely, Feeney, the guys at Sticker and Scuffs, Wild World of Motorsports, myself, everyone who is doing this kind of media is really trying to push I'm not saying mainstream, because racing is mainstream, but at the same time, it's very, unless you know about it, you don't know that there's racing in your community. And that really upsets me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because,
well, leaving tonight, a neighbor was over for dinner. He owns a construction company. We were talking at the table about me coming on tonight. He's like, "Oh, tell me more." We were talking, and he's like, he was okay. Behind my back, he had already told Zach he was going to sponsor him. So whatever. But so I solidified the deal tonight. So we have a new sponsor tonight, and that was just a story that we were talking about coming on tonight. So this is fun.
So do you want to announce who the sponsor is? Can we do that?
Yeah, when we do 2024 sponsors, I'll announce it for sure.
Perfect. Even better.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how even like you got Cam K who's making these fictional designs, which is obviously awesome because it's helped people gain sponsorship from these fictional designs. And that's what we need to see, is we need to see these companies who may not know about it. They think that it's just a redneck sport, which is it's not what it was anymore.
Not 100% true, but yeah.
it's not, because it's not 100% true anymore. Like yes, we still got, our rowdy bunch and we got those redneck style people, but we all come from different walks of life at the same time, which is crazy, because you don't have to. But Jennifer, what do you do for a living?
So I actually work 2 jobs. So I'm a assistant service advisor manager at a Ford dealership, and I'm also a full-time real estate agent, just trying to survive in a really crazy real estate market. And I also have a hot dog cart. So I have 3 jobs, really.
That's what? Where's this hot dog cart? Because I love hot
right
dog
outside
carts.
the door. So I do fall fairs and baseball tournaments and stuff like that, and that thing is a license to print money.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's such a fun job.
You need to tell me where you're going with that damn cart, because I will personally come out and buy 10 dogs. I don't know what it is.
They're the best hot dogs too.
I don't. Yeah. When I go to Toronto, I have to get, like, if I'm going to a Jays game, I have to get a street dog before I go into the Sky Dome, because it's just like, it's a different feeling. It's a different taste. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, and I know hot dogs are so bad.
It's a trade secret, actually. It's a trade secret on where you get your hot dogs, and I get my buns made fresh every morning. That I have the hot dog cart going. So I order them up before. You're gonna have anyways, and so the hot dog cart is called Hot Diggity Dogs, and
please tell me you got a picture of Pluto on there or something. Like, please, so you gotta
something else you didn't know about Jennifer Hatch.
That's awesome. See, again, a different walk of life. Like it's
Yeah.
we're not all mechanics, we're not all, you know, working with welders or fabricators or anything like that. We have real estate agents, a hot dog dealer, we got people
Ford
who are
Motor.
lawyers. Yeah, work for the Ford Motor Company. We got lawyers who drive race cars. We got I don't know if there's there's doctors. We got
Oh, sure. Yeah.
there's doctors who race. Like
Yep.
it's not just people who are mechanics anymore or
No.
were you know,
No.
that's
Nope.
the beauty of this sport.
For sure.
Like Meg, I'm not throwing you under the bus here, Megan, but Megan, you work with children.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, God bless you.
It's tough.
Here, you want my drink? Need it.
sorry, Megan.
God bless you. Better girl than me.
Oh my god. But no, like that's again, I need to find, you need to tell me your schedule when you're going to be using that hot dog cart, because I will
find something to do closer down to you, and I will make sure.
You know what? You know what? I've been wanting to do a car show. I think I may just have to hire you to be a hot dog cart for the.
Oh my god, that would be
Like-
amazing. We'll bring the
come
car.
up, yeah, bring the
and the
cart
car.
out. Bring the car and the cart.
Yeah, sounds good. We should do that. Let's work on that.
Oh my god. I want to get because we have so many fan questions, and of course
I
it's going to lead to
know.
more questions.
I'm so blown away by the response. It's amazing.
It's been awesome. So we're going to get into our tailored to you media design fan question period. We got to thank everyone who submitted questions. This is probably one of the biggest fields of questions we have had in so long. You guys have no idea. We are so thankful for the support of this one, because Jennifer is going to have a nice few minutes here that I'm going to be able to calm myself down. Megan's got a red Gatorade ready to go. So
Just
Megan,
just throw them at me and I'll answer them as quick as I can. We'll do like a speed version of fan questions.
all right, Megan, take it away.
Okay. We're gonna start with Tracy Ellis. What are you most looking forward to this season?
Hanging out with my racing family.
Susie Q, how does it feel having your son race full time this season? Are you a nervous mom?
Love having Zach racing. Yes, for sure. It's so excited for him. Having said that, am I a nervous mom? He's my baby. So yes, always a little bit of a nervous mom, but for different reasons, because I have been in some really good car crashes and concussions, and I got the 6-inch plate and the 12 screws holding my Humpty Dumpty arm back together again and stuff. So I know what can happen in a car, and I know, and I've seen some horrible crashes. I've seen some major carnage. I've seen some major damage. So always a nervous mom. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shane Dixon said, what year did you start racing and what class did you start out in?
So 1993 at Varney Speedway in I think they were just called street stocks back then. I don't know. Then I was in a super stock, and then I think they changed it to Challengers. I don't know. I was there for a long time, 8-9 years. I was at Varney, I think. 1993. And it was really weird because I was born in 1990. So I'm not sure how that worked.
Yeah, don't know how that worked. Randy Temple said, what is your favorite racing memory?
Favorite racing memory? Probably Barrie Speedway. Me and my dad was racing my dad's car at the time for him, and we were just having that car was like just a car that like just hated me, didn't do well at a couple other tracks. Went to Barrie Speedway. We ran at the front all day. It was a big race, and we were like fighting for first and second and third, and first and second and third, and a lapped car put me in the wall, and I ended up just pulling into the infield. And I again, remember, this is like a long time ago, and there wasn't a lot of us back then, a lot of us girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tow truck driver came and he picked up my car, and he said, I don't normally go the long way around, but today we're gonna. And he picked up my car and drove me down the front stretch, and the you know, the applause and the you know, the hooting and the hollering and the good job, and we were cheering for you, or we were rooting for you, or whatever. Just, it was just a great day. It would have thought, my dad, like, honestly, you would have thought we won Indy 500. We did. It was a great day. Cut short by a lap car. Yeah, exactly.
Jamie Burrows, what will you call your home track this season?
So for myself, it'll be Delaware. And then you will see me at all the racetracks, obviously, with the Great Lakes Legends. Yeah.
Awesome. David Rockwood asked, what's your favorite racetrack and who's your favorite driver to race against?
So favorite racetrack is Sauble Speedway. I always do fairly well at Sauble. I love Sauble. I love the atmosphere at Sauble. I love that everybody's on vacation usually, and everybody's kind of chill. And it just, you know, if you sleep over, you get up, you go down to the water in the morning. You know, it's just kind of one of those vibes. It's a whole weekend thing usually. And so I love Sauble Speedway. This is where I say I love racing David Rockwood. Although he always says, your car's a dud, I always pull away from you. So then help me make it faster.
Next one is from Jay Ray. What do you think of being a mom and son racing duo?
I think, you know, that's very cool. It's me and Zach have raced each other in the legend cars in previous years. So we've been on the track together at the same time, and that's super cool. Me and my dad had the same experience. I know there's a lot more father-daughters that have done it, you know, because there's a lot more dads and daughters out there racing than there is moms and sons. I think the only other mom and son that I know of that raced at the same time were the Deans, like Linda Dean, Fireball 5.
Right.
I believe and I don't know, somebody can like totally tell me that that's not the only other one, but at the same time on the track or racing in the same years, I think we're one of very few moms and sons for sure. Yeah, which I love. Yeah, it's just a fun little thing, right? Yeah,
definitely. I'm curious about this one too. Brandon Feeney said, "How did Big Booty Judy get her legendary name?"
So that was Zach. He just kind of said like Big Booty's like she's got a big booty because she's like a Cobalt G5, right? So she's got some junk in the trunk.
Oh yeah.
And so he named her Big Booty Judy, and it stuck. And honestly, like, man, we sold a ton of shirts and hoodies and stuff last year. People love Big Booty Judy.
Jacqueline Christina said, "What are you doing to prepare for the upcoming season? Any hints on what you may have up your sleeve for new merch coming out?"
Awesome. Well, the new merch question is a mystery to me too, because I haven't seen it. So we're still working on it. We haven't come up with our final plans or our final designs, but we are under the gun on that, I know, and we're trying to get it all finalized. But I was trying to get on a few people that I was working on for sponsorships to make sure that they didn't miss the opportunity to be on the shirts or my fire suit. I got to get a new fire suit this year because I've lost 64 pounds. So my fire suit does not fit me. Epic Racewear, love Dan and Bob. They measured me up and they were like going to try and alter the suit that I just got like 2 years ago. And they just kind of said, sorry, girlfriend, you're buying a new suit. So we designed that as well. So, sorry, what was her first part of the question? The new merch, I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be kick-ass, I am sure. And what was her first part of her question?
It was, what are you doing to prepare for the upcoming?
Oh, eating less burgers. I don't know, like, you know, up until when I had to go for my surgery, which I did not know I was going to have, I was working out, you know, because I did lose a lot of weight. And so I was working out, just trying to, you know, make sure that I was in, you know, a bit better shape now that I had lost all the weight. And so I was doing that, but now no lifting or anything for 6 weeks. So I'm on hold for a little bit. The working out will have to go on hold for a little bit. That's okay. I'll get back at it when I can.
She also said, I believe you used to race late models in your Sauble days. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any thoughts on going back, or do you think you'll stick with the bone stock for the foreseeable future?
Okay, so late models, yes, I raced late models at Sauble, and I raced late models at Flamborough and at Varney. So I did quite, I don't know. Yeah, I had quite a few late models, and I raced for a couple of other guys too, Jason Legg and Denny Snyder. And so I did race for a few other people as well. And no, I can't afford that. I'd have to sell a lot more houses, and I just don't have the time. So I would say, and again, at 52, almost 52 years old, it's not in the cards for me anymore. I will support Zach in his endeavors on what he wants to do and what he wants to race. I mean, I'm not going to say I'll never own another late model again, by chance, maybe. But would it be me driving it? No, it would be Zach.
All right.
Big Booty and Judy it's me and her to the end. Either one of us is going to die first. It's going to be Big Booty Judy, or it's going to be me. Whoever dies first wins.
Carrie Gurman said, as a huge supporter of women race car drivers, what would you say to the younger ones just starting out?
It's be passionate, be dedicated to it, be passionate about it. If you're a shy, if you're not an outgoing person and you're shy and you kind of sit back in the wings, it's going to be hard to gain that sponsorship money and stuff unless you got a lot of family that own some businesses, which never hurts. I'm just saying, but be passionate and be proud. Just be proud of what you're doing, and and be nice, for crying out loud, people. Like, there's been a lot of crap going down this winter, not just with myself and people talking shit, but there's been some other situations, and they've led to like devastating outcomes. And I'm pissed. Like, I'm pissed at people about just not being nice. Just play nice in the sandbox. It's a big world, and somebody just said the other day, life's too short to be mad and not be friends and whatever. And that's true. Just, if they're not bothering you, don't bother them. Just be nice.
Absolutely.
That's my mental health awareness stick right there. Be nice. If you can't be nice, don't talk to me.
I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but Ricky Marie said, what made you want to start racing, and how do you feel each time you get on the track?
Okay, so Ricky Marie Legacy.
Okay.
Sorry, now I forgot the question.
What made you want to start racing, and how do you feel each time you get on the track?
Okay, so what made me want to start racing? Didn't really have anything to do with my dad at the time. It was in high school, and we built a car. I think there's a question coming up about that anyways too. So I went to the racetrack when I was March, April, May, 2.5 months old, 3 months old. And so my dad, John Jarvis, and my uncles, so my uncle Russ Commons, and I think my uncle Matt even, and my uncle Pat for sure, and maybe even my uncle Michael. Like, I think they all kind of raced at the same time. So as a little wee one, I don't think I was ever that small, but anyway, as a little wee one, I went to the track and grew up at the racetrack. So of course you're going to, it's a in your blood kind of a situation, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be why. I forget the rest of the question. I'm old.
That's okay. And then her last part was, how do you feel each time you get on the track?
I'm always a little bit nervous lined up. I mean, especially at Delaware, when sometimes we have 52 cars or 50 cars or whatever. Like, I can't remember what the most amount of cars we had, but anyways, always a little bit nervous. But then as soon as you kind of get up on the racetrack, hit second gear, nervous is gone, and you're ready to go.
Next question is, how hard is it to raise funding? And also, do you find it difficult getting the younger generation to help and be involved in racing today?
So funding can come from the weirdest spots, right? Like you just never know when that opportunity is gonna arise for you. So always always be on your game, and always be. And it kind of goes back to the question for the younger racers, like always be on your game, but always be, nobody's going to be a better supporter of you than you. So nobody's going to have your back like anybody but you. Like you got to promote yourself. You have to. Or else you're not going to get those opportunities, right? So funding for me, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I know a lot of people really do struggle. And of course, I mean, I could always do with more funding. Please, if you would like to sponsor Big Booty Judy, please send me an email at patch@gmail.com. But having said that, we always use a little bit of extra funds because, I mean, let's face it, we all race pretty much out of our pockets, right? But again, I think, me being out there and busy and always meeting people, and I know so many people, I haven't, if I really, really, really try, I can usually do pretty okay with it. But having said that, the economy has changed. And so over the last few years, it's a little bit harder to find funding, right? And I know a lot of people struggle with that. I mean, I was lucky. I was sponsored by Lucas Oil Canada for 10 years and didn't pay a penny to race. Like I was so fortunate for 10 years that I was able to just race what I wanted to race. Don Baker, he would say, what do you want to race this year? And I'd say, let's do vintage modifieds. And he'd be like, okay. And I'd say, let's do late models. And he'd say, okay. And so I was very fortunate for many, many, many years. And I will be ever grateful to Don for putting me under his wing and sponsoring me for a lot of my career.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the young kids.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm raising, like Allie. Sorry, she's gonna kill me for this. She's not young anymore. She's 20, gonna be 30 this year. So my two daughters and my son, they all love racing. Zach just happened to have a bit more opportunities than the girls, just in timing and stuff like that. But like my dad actually said today, I was hanging out with my dad today, and he said, the young kids are more into their Hondas with their big can exhausts and stuff like that. So he was like, but then you look at like Flamborough had a ton of young kids. Delaware had a ton of young kids. Look at the young kids down in the ASA rate. Like, you know what I mean? We've got a ton of amazing talent here in Canada. And it's just going to be so exciting to watch what happens to these kids that got some really good opportunities this year.
For sure. Next question from Hannah Lamont. What made you enjoy the love of racing? And how did it feel the first time you stepped in your first race car?
So that's going back a long time, Hannah, so I don't remember. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it was like nerve-wracking and fun and exciting all at the same time, but it really was 31 years ago. Hannah probably doesn't even know that it was 31 years ago. I love Hannah. She has come a long way. I love racing with Hannah. Like that was the other thing. I know Rockwood asked that, and I kind of gave a smart ass answer about racing Rockwood, but I love getting on the track with any other female drivers. It's just a ton of fun. And it's something that over my 30 years, there wasn't a lot of us. I think like my first year, there was 2 of us, maybe 3 of us, actually, 3 of us. And so to say that, like, every time I get onto the racetrack, especially at Delaware, we seem to have a lot of female drivers at Delaware. And every Friday night, I race with quite a few other female drivers. And I think that is a ton of fun. And I think it's great for the sport. And I love Hannah. Thanks, Hannah.
Don York asked, what's the all-time best race you've ever witnessed, local or NASCAR or Indy?
Geez, that would be really hard to answer that one, because even over the last few years, look at all the great racing we've had to go watch. Like, but I'm not going to lie, anything at Jacassa, God love Jacassa. Come on, somebody buy that place and get it going again. If I win the Powerball or whatever, it'll be me. But yeah, like honestly, Jacasa. Wow. Love Jacasa. Anything I've ever witnessed at Jacasa or did I race at Jacasa? I raced at the old Jacasa Canadian Vintage Modifieds. Scared me to death. It was big track, really fast. And I do believe, I can't remember, I think it was Shaw. And I came around the one corner and there had been an accident and somebody was like hanging the fence on the backstretch. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? But anyways, so I would say Jacasa, anything at Jacasa.
I think we kind of went over this one, but Sean Gordon said, what tracks can we find Jenny at this year?
Okay, so hey Jeff Gordon. Well, you see me at Delaware, obviously, maybe a race at Flamborough, depending on the schedule. Definitely we'll try and get to the Dash for Cash on the Wednesday night with Big Booty Judy for sure. I always try and make that. Having said that, with the Great Lakes Legends, you'll see us at every track. So I won't be driving there, but I will be there. I'm looking forward to camping a few times this year too. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Colton Everingham said, what King of the Hill can I steal your car at?
Well, I think he's so there's I've got in the works maybe a Mustang convertible for the summer. And so I think he's kind of alluding to the Mustang convertible. But me and Colton, oh geez, you know what? Me and Colton, we may have been intoxicated at the time. So, and I do know we pink sweared on this, so I'm not exactly sure what's happening. But there might be a bit of an opportunity to run Colton's dirt car at Ashwaubenon on Friday nights that I'm not at. Because I know he's wanting to do that and he can't make all of them either. So I know we pinky sweared. I know like it's not like a legal document, but when you're it might not be legally binding. So I'm not going to hold him to it. But we did have a conversation about me running his dirt like mini stock at Ashwaubenon. And I'm not 100% new. I didn't run anything at Ashwaubenon except I did do a lot of testing there years back, like in 14, 15, 16, something like that. I helped out there and I worked for Glenn a bit and I got to test sprint cars quite regularly. So I'm not completely new to dirt racing. So that would be a great opportunity. So I'll have to circle around to that because I kind of forgot about that till we went there with Colton. But no, Colton, you cannot run the Mustang, but not that much.
Then I think this is our final one. William_Trillium. What track would you like to race at that you haven't yet?
Holy, I didn't see that one. That one came in after I looked. What track would I like to race at? I would like to go out to the East Coast and run some of the tracks out there, like Nova Scotia Speed World and stuff like that. I'd like to do an East Coast tour. I've raced at New Smyrna, so I've done that one. Yeah, so I'd say East Coast. That was a good question.
I feel like I need to see like a whole rundown of like every track you've run and every car you've run.
Oh my God.
Like I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know. I have to be at like maybe 20, 23 or 24, or 25 cars, maybe something like that. Like, and a lot of them there were some that were short. Like, we built Brittany Beattie's old super stock. We rebuilt that and put a new Camaro body on it and then tested it and whatever. And it was badass fast right out of the shop and ended up getting sold. So when somebody comes in and offers you good money for something that you just finished rebuilding, you take the money and run sometimes. And it was kind of too bad because I was really excited to run that car. But again, you do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know I need to go through like all my pictures and really kind of identify how many cars I've had like easily all in the 20s for sure.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more question because I did reach out to Adam Ross and he did get back to me with a question. So his question is, he goes, I want to know after all this time in all the classes, what still provides the motivation to put in the time and effort?
Just again, the love of the sport and the camaraderie of our racing family. And I mean, and that includes everybody, right? That includes the people that work at the track. It's the guy that sells, like John. I don't even know John's name, but I've known him since I was knee high to a grasshopper. He sells 50-50 tickets at Flamborough in the back, in the pit area. I know all about his son. I know all about his wife. I know when they do a renovation on their house. Like, I know all this stuff about him. I don't even know his last name, but I've known him forever. And I always look forward to going to Flamborough Speedway and seeing him there. I love, there's different people at different tracks that you love seeing, not just other racers. These are the pretty girl that sells you the flam burgers. I love her. She's gorgeous. We always have a good conversation, and she makes a kick-ass burger. I don't know who she is. I don't even know her first name, but I love the chick. John Caselli, like me and John, again, my dad raced back when I was a newborn, right? So, and way before me being born, I'm sure. So having said that, like John knows me and we worked together really closely when Lucas Oil came on as a major supporter of Flamborough Speedway, when we built the tower and we built the score stand and all that. That was an instrumental time between me and John. And, it was just one of those, I don't know, I've had a great life. If I drop dead tomorrow, I've had a great life. I really have.
I remember when that turn 1 tower went in at Flamborough.
Yeah.
And I remember getting called over there too at one point.
What was that?
I remember getting hauled over to that turn 1 tower actually during as it was called before for Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Because David Elliott, I can't remember if it was 07 or if it was 08. One of those 2 years. I think David had just gone to Pennzoil Colors. And they had the Lucas Oil, I guess the Lucas Oil guys were up in the turn 1 tower, and they saw my mom and called us over because they knew her because of David.
Right.
So I remember when that tower went in.
I mean, and there's so many fun stories. Like Todd Pike, like when I broke my arm, I was the first person in the new ambulance at Flamborough Speedway, and I think at that point I was the person that had broken the worst. Like, I was the most broken person that they had at Flamborough Speedway.
Oh, geez.
Because it was bad. Like, my hand was down here. Like, it was bad. Luckily, I have a fairly good pain tolerance, and I didn't pass out till after we got my fire suit off. So anyways, like, again, just like so many memories, and memories with my kids. Like, my daughter would always get in the passenger side of my car. And way back then, very few of us had enclosed trailers at that point. This is going way back. She was like 5. She's going to be 30, right? So, and I had like a tilt trailer, right? So as soon as I would come up, then it would come back down, and she would always ride in the passenger seat or the passenger area, and she just loved loading the car. Like, it was just those things, right? So, and I'm still looking for a girl. And if she sees this, I wish I had thought of this. She made me this amazing flag, and it was my vintage modified on it and all that. And I took pictures with her with it, and I had put them on the Flamborough Speedway site a couple years ago because I found the damn flag. I still have that flag. Like, that's 20 years ago, and I have the flag. So that is important to me. And she would be 25. She was like 8 or 9 at the time, right? So she's going to be a 34 or 35-year-old person possibly, or whatever, right? So having said that, like, that's the shit right there. I'm not allowed to say that. I already have a couple times. Sorry. Bleep it.
That's okay. I don't care.
Those are the things, those are the things that make life just worth living.
Now we need to find this girl and
I know.
do that, like, time difference.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God,
Um,
we
hang on.
need this
I can
picture.
tell you, I can tell you close to what year it was, because I had my red late model with Lucas and Unicorn Truck Wash on it, and I think my arm was broken. So that would have been in 20 years ago exactly. So
2004.
2004. Yeah. So 2004, I want to say maybe 2005, but 2004 was when I broke my arm. So I'm going to say it was 2004, and I'm going to get you a picture.
Yeah, please do, because we're gonna put it up right here.
I did, yeah, I did put it out there on like the Flamborough pages and stuff. Like, does anybody recognize this girl, or was this you? I want to meet you. I want to put you in Big Booty Judy. I'm telling you right now, if we find her, she gets to race Big Booty Judy at Delaware one night.
Damn.
That is awesome. I love that.
Mic drop.
That is awesome. All right, so yeah, you got to get me that picture because I need to get this in our write up.
Yep, if we find her, she gets to have a ride in Big. Oh, not a ride. She gets to drive Big Booty.
Can you invite me out and I will vlog that whole thing?
Absolutely.
I will do that on my own time, and I'd love to vlog that whole thing of you guys reuniting after all these years. Like what you guys could talk about. I think it'd be just such a cool episode of a day at the races, and I'd 100% be down for coming out and vlogging that, because I think it would just be absolutely amazing.
You know what? I did try. Like I said, I did try, but I think this is a way better venue to maybe reach out and see if anybody recognizes this young girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's 7 or 9 or whatever. I'm not really good at that thing, but she's 7 or 9 or whatever. But I think that would be amazing. I have looked for her. like, I want to find this girl, and I want her to know, and I want everybody else to know, like, when you make a sign for a driver, it matters. As a driver, when you take the time to go into the stands and meet people, it matters. When you wave at the crowd, it matters. There's somebody looking to see if you wave at them. That's something that we had a little thing, and it mattered to me that somebody waved at me. I always watch to see if he waved to me, and that's the stuff that makes the world a great place. So do those things. Like Zach, I used to get so ticked at his team when the little kids are hanging over the glass and they don't fist pump them.
Yeah.
Fist pump them. You're his hero. He wants to be you right now. Later,
he's gonna go
realize
back.
You're not right. And later he's gonna realize that you're not all that. But at the same time, right now, when he's a little kid, he thinks that you're the shit. So do it. Fist pump the little kid that's hanging over the glass with his life hanging in the balance. Like, just fist pump the kid already.
Oh, so this kind of actually, I now have a really, really good question. I think this would be a lot of fun. I hope this would be, I think, a cool thing a lot of tracks do. You know how in NASCAR the driver goes up to the flag stand essentially to grab the flag, and then they usually give it off to a little kid that's right. They kind of pick one out of the crowd and bring him up there. Yeah. Do you think that would be like CVMs have done this? Every race winner gets their own checkered flag. So for every double feature they ran, they got their own checker flag so that they could take home with them. Do you think that all tracks, maybe not all divisions, because that would be costly and a lot of flags, but maybe one like the last feature race or one of the feature races, they give that person a flag to go out into the grandstand to go find a little kid and give it to them? Do you think that would be something that would be worth the tracks looking into?
Absolutely. Like, there's no denying that fan base is down, right?
Yep.
Over previous years, and there's anything we can do to gain interaction with the fans in the stands. Now, having said that, I do have a pet peeve, and we're just gonna lay it out there, okay? So my pet peeve is, back in the good old days, and I know everybody says that, but back in the good old days, if you won a heat race, okay? If you won a heat race, you were able to go get out of your car, get your picture taken. Because a lot of people that won heat races never, ever beat the big dogs to win a feature race. So that really I think is something we have lost. I think, and in the respect of time and all that, have you been to some of these amazing racetracks in the States that take the time to allow people to come out of the stands to get their picture taken when their favorite driver wins? They sell pictures of it. They, you know what I mean? Like, people are way more invested in things that they can participate in. And if we're constantly worried about the time, and all of a sudden you know, the only person that gets their picture taken is the feature winner, and even then, lots of times they don't give them time even for their family to come down. So I think we need to go back to heat wins with at least a flag and at least a picture, dropping the window net at least. That's one thing I do not agree with at a lot of tracks right now. I don't agree with that. Sorry, that's my pet peeve.
You know what? I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, look at Peterborough.
A win, I'm sorry, but a win is a win, and that's how it should be. I'm not asking you to give participation flags to everybody, but if you win a heat race, it's a win. It is a win, and it needs to be celebrated as a win.
And you know what? That's actually that's a really good thing, because I go to Peterborough, and Peterborough's like, I've been on either tuning night or fan appreciation night, and those stands are filled to the brim of people. And whenever someone wins even a heat race, and they do dual heats over there, they do have their family and friends come onto the track and stand with them at the car. And same thing during feature. You're hitting it a nail on the head here, because at Flamborough they tell you no, you're not allowed to go down. Like, why? Like, and to be fair, Flamborough is so far away. They do it in the middle of the track. It's not accessible really, unless you go to the backstrap.
So do your heat race right at your starter stand then. Again, learn from what's happening. Take a look in your stands. You're losing you're losing your audience because you're not talking to them. And I'm not bashing Flamborough at all. I mean,
no. That's not what we're doing here.
Example, right? Like, that's just an example. And I know Delaware kind of did the same thing, like, because of being on Rogers TV and keeping the show going and all that. I get that. But watch Flow Racing, watch all of these other tracks. They're allowing the time. So people go to the bathroom, they go get a French fry, if they don't want to participate in that. But you know, I don't know, like, let's not rush everything. Like, we're here for a long, like, you know, you're here, you paid how much to get in. Let's have a good show and be part of it, right?
I think that's the problem, is that we're not getting into this is again against all tracks, not just particular ones. The fan engagement from the tracks have gone down so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too, is that they're asking the racers to go out and promote the track, but the track's not reaching out. Like, again, this goes back to I'm sounding like a broken record on here, because I've said this about 3 or 4 times now, is that like 10 years ago, I would go to Flamborough, almost 20 years ago here, I go to Flamborough, and the Grisdale Triple Crown is coming up, and on the radio on 95.3 at the time, they'd be this Saturday at Flamborough Speedway, come out and see Jason Shaw, David Elliott, Gary, Sean Chenoweth, Paul House, all battle for the Grisdale Triple Crown. 100 laps of late model racing this Saturday night at Flamborough Speedway. They put in the effort to name them.
Is this an announcing interview? I'm just asking.
If anyone's looking for an announcer, I'd love to be one. I mean, this summer I'm so busy. I got my own stuff this summer. It's way too much for me. I'd love to do some announcing.
So here's a great story of again, back in the good old days. So I would rent a school bus, and I would put my girls' 2 ringette teams on a school bus, parents and kids. I would get them to drive them down to Flamborough Speedway, and at intermission, they played a game of ringette on the front stretch.
That is awesome.
How many fans did we gain just in people that had never been to the racetrack before?
That's exactly it.
Right? Like, and it didn't cost terrible to do it. Like, I mean, there was a cost, but at the same time, like, I was racing that night. I was racing my vintage modified, and my girls, we brought my race car out during intermission. put it on the front stretch, got a picture with both teams. And then we moved my car and they actually played a game of ringette on the front stretch of Glenboro Speedway. Like, come on.
That's so
You
cool.
don't see this kind of stuff happening anymore. You don't.
No, like I was trying to do that with the CVMs a couple years ago. We did a backpack night one night. And then we were trying to, the club was trying to support Scott Tonelli and his Change for Change deal he does with his, where he lights up his house, and the donations he gets, 100% of the donations go straight to the Grand River Hospital up in Kitchener. And, you know, those, you want to entertain the fans during intermission. Like, I remember at one point they were doing Waterloo Regional Kart Club little invitationals. They set up little, they brought out a junior, a mid, and a senior kart, and they let them go 5-6 laps. And as a guy was talking about the club and how people can get into it and stuff like that, we need this fan engagement during intermission. And we're seeing a lot better social media posts coming from tracks like Sunset and Peterborough, but we need that engagement during intermission. Like, I'm sorry, the funniest one I've seen has been Oswego Speedway so far.
Yeah.
Where they did was it there was like $100 or $300, whoever the first one a lap around Oswego.
You know what? Glenn does things right, doesn't he? You gotta, Glenn and Clinton Jeffries, obviously.
Absolutely.
Sunset, man, well, they've just like, wow, they've taken it to the next level too. Loving what Sunset is doing. Peterborough, like their tuning night. My daughter lives in Minden, and so she loads up the kids and heads down on tuning night. Well, you got 4 kids, you know, you and your husband, and that's an expensive little night sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
So tuning night or the whole car for $5, I can't remember. Like they do, like both of those tracks are doing really good stuff. I mean, all the tracks are doing really good stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's not a track I don't love, support, and totally am behind. But I think we could do better.
Absolutely. All tracks can do better. And, you know, we're seeing, we're turning a corner, I think. Like Sunset bringing in the Rib Fest and having it at the track. That's fantastic. Speedway. Yeah.
Grand Bend Speedway, like Tab and Gord have been trying their hardest to think outside the box and do some stuff at the festival center now is what it's called.
Yeah.
And right, having said that, and I was just going to say there was something else that kind of stuck out in my head. But anyways, like, you know, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on too, for sure.
Absolutely. And the tracks need to keep this up. Bicycle races.
At Sawville, they do that. That's fun.
We need to bring back soapbox races.
Yes, we do.
I want to see that.
I know.
I still would love to do. I would still love to see a track do. I want to try and line up some sponsorship for this, but I'd love to see a track take on this idea and instead of do a kids ride night, but at the same time get the drivers involved too.
Absolutely.
Give out a prize to the kids in their division, but also give out a winning to the driver. But instead of the driver taking home money, it goes to a charity of their choosing.
Yep, love it.
I would love to see that.
You know, and drivers will do anything when you ask them to. You just have to ask them. They'll do it.
The backpack night we set up with the CVMs a couple seasons ago, I was expecting it just to be the CVMs. I ended up getting 3 backpacks from like Mike Thompson alone. I got a couple backpacks from Caitlin Walls who weren't even a part of the club.
Yeah.
And we were getting backpacks out of the hoo-ha. I'm like, this was just a club thing. This wasn't a whole track thing.
But awesome, right? And Mike Schmidt, like who can't, and his dedication to the sport.
Oh my God.
London track, like, wow, right? Like, I don't know. There's so many great people in the sport too. But like, that was kind of to the point was anything we do and we get the drivers interacting with the fans, you come over in your fire suit and there's a 6-year-old boy or a 9-year-old girl or whatever, you know, they are kind of looking up to you, and you need to interact with them. And I was that kid, Sharon Zardo, right? Like there was some girls before me, and or ladies before me, and like I looked up to them, and 31 years later, here I'm sitting with Big Booty Judy in the background still. Right?
You're absolutely correct. Like these drivers need to get over to that grandstand, interact with those children one way, or not even just children in general, but just interact with those people, because we need to create a lasting memory for them, where you go over, meet a little kid, and they're like, "Oh my God, that person's trying, yeah!" And then next feature, you know what? You're gonna see that kid just go 17, go 73. Like they're gonna be so excited.
And if they're already there, they're there because they are interested in racing. Maybe they don't love racing, but you can help them love racing by coming over and having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Sauble's a great place to go and talk to people. Like, again, they're on
Absolutely.
holidays, they're relaxed, they're leaving to go back to have a campfire, right? Like, people at Sauble are always so fun. And Flamborough, like I said, I have so many friends from when I was knee high to a grasshopper that are still sitting in those stands. Some of them have dedicated seats now because they've passed on, which is sad. But like
it's nice though.
There's a lot of long-term guys too that would just love to see your face. So go over and say hi.
Exactly. We need to bring that fan engagement back, and that's not just that's not tracks, that's also drivers as well. And I think that's you hit that nail, you hit the nail on the head there. But before we continue on, I do have to finish. We kind of went on for this nice little rant here, which is awesome. But thank you to everyone for submitting their questions to our Tailored to You Media and Design fan question period. Make sure you guys tune in every Sunday to see who our next guest will be. And of course, we got to thank Jennifer for taking this time to answer those questions. We had so many of them, which was awesome. Thank you guys for those questions. They were a lot of fun. Moving forward, though,
you have to do sponsors at some point too, right?
Oh, don't worry. Do not worry. That is one thing. I already got in trouble this year for leaving out fan question period by someone.
Yep.
And this was early on in the year, so we're making sure we're getting all the bases in here tonight. We are going to let you go in just a few minutes, so we are going to get to your sponsor in just a second. But I do want to touch on this: is you've raced with so many talent, and we've seen so much talent head down to the States. What do you think our next generations of racers need to do to move up that rank, and then hopefully go down south and race against some of the big dogs down there?
Well, I mean, just what they're doing. There's some really good talent, right? And with social media and big sponsors coming on and stuff like that, I think they have some opportunities that maybe some of us didn't get, right? I'm not that I have the talent that a lot of these kids have by any means, but having said that, like, I literally wanted to make sure that I flew down on Monday. It was a bonus to get to go to Volusia, but I was making sure that I made it to Tuesday night to watch all of our young guys race down at New Smyrna. And like, oh my gosh, like, so proud of like Kyle, and just to see Joe Lawrence make it out down there and stuff. And I don't know, like, I feel like the racing's in good hands. You know what I mean? As far as the future and young generation of kids coming up through, I think they're in good hands. And I think we've got lots of really great talent. And I think there's some money supporting them, which is like the hugest part of the whole thing, right? Is getting the backing for these kids to go and run these races and prove that they're good and prove that they have the same talent as somebody that was born with a different passport. So I'm very happy about that. And I think it's in good hands. I think it's in good hands.
Well, we'll give you a few minutes now to go over your 2024 sponsors and anybody that you want to thank for helping you along the way.
Well, so I got 2023 sponsors, of course, was Epic Racewear, Magnico Welding, Robson Scrap Metal, JMB Recycling, Wilds Printing, Auto Fusion Towing, St. Mary's Ford, Dan Russ Motorsport, K&K Towing, MPH Design. I'm thinking that's it. I always have to kind of look at the and Coming on board this year, adding to our sponsors from 2023, we have Jill Collins. She's an amazing mortgage broker. She's going to be coming on this year. And I've got Epic Raceware again, back again, kind of helping me out again this year. And this year, Finch Construction. So Finch Construction has come back on, or is coming on for the first time, and he's new to the racing community as a whole. And so we're really excited to bring Adam on and get him out to a couple races and have some fun this summer with Adam and his company and his crew. And I honestly want to say the biggest thank you and shout out to my Aunt Connie and my Uncle Russ for everything they have done for me and Zach since last fall. I don't know where I'd be without them. I really don't. And so big shout out to my Aunt Connie and my Uncle Russ. Love you.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. When you said Finch Construction, I swear I thought you were gonna say James Finch from Phoenix Construction in Florida. I was like, damn.
If he would like to come on, he is more than welcome.
I just heard Finch. I'm like, excuse me? That...
I got a couple more in the works, but I honestly, I've been away and with surgery and stuff, I haven't finalized everything. But that's why I'm holding off on my merch stuff right now because I have a couple more on the go. So.
Well, when you drop the merch for this year, let me know. I will take a 4XL and a t-shirt because
Absolutely.
I need more racing t-shirts, though Jacqueline will tell you I don't need any more.
I need more. Racing ready. 100 is just not enough.
my closet is this one right here now, and it is filled to the brim, and it's just like 90% of it is racing material.
Oh yeah.
Like that's awesome. But Jen, we are gonna have to definitely get you back on again because every time you come on, it is always a pleasure. And we love having you on. It's always great conversation. You have a lot of history in the sport, and of course, we'd love to dive into it more. And like I said, we're gonna have to get you back into a cycle here. Maybe we'll make this a yearly thing right around Motorama. We'll get you back on.
Kick off to Motorama. That's right.
Exactly.
And exactly. Not going this year, so that's sad. But
yeah,
we'll be there working the Great Lakes Legends booth. So come find me there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out in there. Oh, I can't talk about that just yet because it hasn't dropped. So you'll hear about this on Tuesday. But we got some fun things in the work at Motorama, so we'll definitely be stopping by.
I'm gonna get you that picture of the little girl, and let's do that. And I'm dead serious. We find her, she's gonna get to run Big Booty Duty.
And you get a race day. You get a race day vlog out of it. We're getting bonuses here.
Perfect. That's awesome.
All right, Jen. Well, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to talk with us on the True North Racing podcast presented by Vision 20 Studios. You hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Love you for doing what you do and bringing racing to the next level. Have a good day.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye.
I think we forgot one more thing, didn't we, Jennifer?
Oh well, yeah. I guess we forgot we were gonna talk about upcoming events. So upcoming events, we talked about Motorama. So heading off to Motorama, and then me and Tracy Ellis are heading off on media passes with her Life's a Vlog. So we've got media passes to head down to Bristol. So we're going to be on pit lane. We're going to be, or pit row. We're going to be in Victory Lane. We're going to be, so watch for us on the TV because you just never know. And it is St. Paddy's Day too. So should be a good time, I would think.
Well, we're going to be looking forward to watching you on down at Bristol and watch your entire journey because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to watch it.
I'll make it to the Jumbotron. Don't you worry. Somehow.
That's awesome. All right.
All right, guys. See you later.
And we're back from our conversation with Jennifer Hatch. Of course, we got to thank her for joining us this week on the show and our GraphInk Design Studio Guest of the Week. It was so much fun chat with her. Mm-hmm. Every time we chat with her, I feel like it's you learn something new, like tonight, the whole announcing thing.
And honestly, for me, that was the first time I've ever actually spoken to her. So it's like there was stuff I knew, but like I learned a lot about her, and her energy's great.
She's got such a great energy, and and it's so great that though she was thrown into the announcing for the Great Lakes Legends when they've gone across the border and Humberstone as well, it is good that she is being still a part of that.
Mhm.
And that she's willing to do it. And you know what? Hey, Adam Ross, GeForce TV, let's see her on a broadcast. I think that'd be great to see. Or even Rogers TV. Like, let's get her on a broadcast one night.
I'd love to see that.
I'll be going down to Delaware, so I'll be definitely stopping by saying hi. I'll be also seeing her at Motorama this week. It will be, well, not I, but we'll be seeing her at Motorama this weekend. Megan, what are you looking forward to this weekend at Motorama?
Um, all of it. Like, it's been a couple of years since I've been to Motorama. I mean, 2022, so yeah, I guess a couple of years. I've never met Cam K in person. I'm excited to actually meet Cam and to meet all the other guys and just to chill with everyone and just be there again.
This keeps coming up, and one of those things is like, I want to so bad put in a booth in the next year or two and have our own Joe Media section.
That'd be
And
cool.
I want to put a driver in there. I want to put I like, there's so much I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can do it. And I hope it just all works out. And who knows? You never know what's going to happen with with the plans and stuff like that, and where we're going to be in a year. It could all change. But
Mm-hmm.
I do want to have a bigger presence with Joe Media at Motorama, and this is a start for sure, and I love it. And we're gonna see what we're able to do here in the next couple of years.
That's for sure.
But yeah, so this Saturday, I think it's 11-2. I think I picked us times for. I think we got 11-2 or something like that. During Saturday and Sunday's portion of the show. Friday, I think I got 12. I think I picked 11-2. I think for all weekend, just to make it even and just to make it so it's easy to talk to announce it when we're going to be on. But
Yeah.
this week, you guys, we will be on Wednesday or Thursday if I can get all the guests scheduled. And we get a final sheet of who's going to be there, kind of thing. We will put out our own schedule as to who you'll see on stage with us and what time, so you guys can come head on over to Hall 1B and check us out. I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's the unofficial start to the race season, and I've already said this. I am going to put a GoPro on my head, and I'm going to walk the entire show.
That was sweet.
Don't. Do I have to let you know if I'm recording it though?
No.
Your energy when you don't know we're recording is so much fun.
I was gonna say, I do so much better when I don't know it's recording. So don't let me know.
Okay, perfect. Guys, if you want to see her personality, like, she has such a big personality. Don't catch her on the show, catch her in person, because she is so much fun to deal with. And you guys will actually see it in person at Motorama the next weekend, because she can't hide from it.
No, I'm a whole different person on camera. I'm not gonna lie.
You mean when we're recording?
Yeah. Yeah.
With that being said, you guys, thank you guys for checking out the True North Racing podcast this week. Make sure you catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Nope, not Twitter, TikTok. I keep always adding Twitter because it's been so used to our ending call. Our website, joemedia.ca. Make sure you guys also follow MRC Racing on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You guys are not going to be disappointed with the content that they put out. Their race season is coming up. They got 4 pure stocks racing at Flamborough Speedway this year. They are going to be one busy team. So make sure you stay up to date. I know Megan's going to be updating that web or the team pages here pretty soon with design drops and number fonts and stuff like that. So we're excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out of here for today, guys. But thank you so much for listening to True North Racing Podcast presented by Vision 20 Studios. For Megan Mitchell, I'm John Morrison. We'll see you guys next time. Bye now.
Yeah. Oops.
Lights, hear the engine rooming by. Smell the gas and feel the vibe. Going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing. Let's go.